So do you remember did you ever read the Berenstain Bears when you were a kid?
Berenstain Bears. It's another universe. Alternate pocket dimension. Mm-hmm. It's not that I'd misremembered it.
I agree.
So I'm looking everywhere.
Did we go all the way over?
Yeah, we did. It stopped me. Maybe it's to the left?
I don't know.
She said go upstairs.
Huh. She said
I don't like that
upstairs.
I can't run. I can't run or jump. I hate walking. This is boring. Maybe we're just supposed to come up here to initiate a scene from downstairs.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh. Going up.
Going up.
So there's more up. Cool.
Up, up, up.
How many floors does this library have? It's huge. Oh, wow. It's dusty up here.
It's old up here.
Sure is. Maybe your ghost is up here.
Yep, ghost. Or something. Whatever he was, he walked through a chain link fence. Or flew over it, or something. While carrying something.
Alright, well, that's even more impressive.
So, we're gonna go find this guy. Because he took someone. And he's like, somehow connected to this thing I've been going through. And that's not good. That all sounded a lot more badass in my head.
It's okay. It was fine.
I love that, though. It's always like I have to figure out this, like, supernatural
cool thing.
Because it's definitely related to, like, my personal struggle somehow. It's all related.
Is this it? Yeah. Alright, there she is.
Cool.
So.
I have no idea how to use it.
Really?
I can't know how to do everything.
I'm sorry, but what expertise have you brought to this thus far?
This whole thing was my idea.
No, your idea was ghost hunting. My idea is to do at least a tiny bit of research on it.
If you think it's so stupid, why are you here?
Because you're my friend, you asshole.
Aww.
Ugh.
Aw, we friends, Beatrice?
Here, let me get this set up. We'll be here all night if your dumbass is in charge.
This is like such a friendship conversation.
Alright, so what are we looking for?
I want to steer.
No.
Move, I'm steering.
Ow! Jeez, man.
I'm sorry. Okay. How do we do this?
Step 1, look at the screen. Step 2, move around and look at stuff.
Step 3, find ghost.
Sure.
Step 4, profit. Tragedy at Stafford Mine. An explosion occurred at 6:20 a.m. at the Stafford Mine. All work has ceased while men attempt to rescue any survivors. So far, 3 men have been pulled out alive along with 20 dead. The explosion occurred 10 miles deep in the mine, and only one group of men were able to escape before the elevator's rope snapped, and the next group of men plummeted to their death. So far, hopes of finding more survivors is low. The main path to the tunnel caved in due to the explosion, and supervisors are still attempting to piece together exactly where everyone was during the accident. Events. The last trolley will make its run September 4th. Bernie Goss, the longest employee with 25 years as an operator, will pick up passengers starting at the Market Street Tunnel entrance and will end at the trolley garage, where light refreshments will be served, and a speech will be given by Congressman Archibald Reed.
We don't need to read everything. This seems like a lot to read.
Yeah, this is.
Possum Massacre!
Okay, go ahead.
Severe violence broke out at the Stafford mine strike today. The bosses arrived to attempt to renew talks and were taunted by some of the children present. Rocks were thrown. Young brother and sister were also shot dead as they were delivering a package of food to their father and uncle who were on strike below when the shooting broke out.
No, you missed a sentence.
I know, but I was trying to skim and then it just got worse.
No, you gotta, I don't think this is...
After a few minutes, the smoke cleared. Okay. Rocks were thrown and the National Guard strike bearers opened fire on the crowd. All right. Rocks versus bullets. It's a huge, if someone's throwing rocks at you and you have a gun, rocks and bullets are not the same.
I'm pretty sure. No. Strike breakers. That wasn't the National Guard. Oh, wait. No, that was the No, so I think this is probably very old. The
photograph of the two children, aged 7 and 9, who were shot in cold blood, has circulated far outside of our little county. The heinous act led to a personal visit from the governor to strike site to meet with strikers. Independent inspectors were also brought in, and talks finally began. 45 days since the start of the strike, the bosses have agreed to comply to the current safety standards and to honor the demands of the miners. So, guys, if you want something, you kill kids.
Normally, when you have riot, protest gear is non-lethal rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So...
The only thing I'm learning from this is that if you want your strike to go well, kill some of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Strange... Oh, here we go.
Strange but true, a tale of teeth.
Hey, that might have something to do with the tooth we found.
Strange but True is our ongoing series about the weird and forgotten aspects of Deep Hollow County history and culture, published weekly. Bad bosses figure heavily into Possum Springs history, and this morbid tale of crime and secret societies is no exception. The story goes, in 1870, a local mine boss was skimming workers on their pay. A group of miners confronted him while he was in the act. He denied everything, with many a slur, and punched the miners' leader, Darnell Glace, in the face, causing him to lose his last remaining tooth. The miners knew how much Darney's tooth had meant to him, and they descended on the boss. A few held the boss down, while others removed all of his teeth with pliers. That's oof. The teeth were passed out to the miners, and a secret society was created with a vow to protect the workers' interests.
So our grandpa was part of the weird secret society that ripped out the teeth of a man.
That's what I think.
Oh my god.
Membership was based on owning one of these teeth, and each was marked with a symbol of their choosing. These symbols were used around the coal patch to organize meetings and make announcements. The boss survived his attack, but never named his attackers for fear of implicating himself. When died a few years later, members dug up his grave to retrieve his skull.
I think they might be overreacting.
It was used in ceremonies performed before going out for retribution. All would gather round, place their teeth into the sockets, and later retrieve their tooth after the retribution was completed. Upon a member's death, their tooth would be passed on to a new member. Teeth of members in jail would be left in their sockets until their fates were decided. After the strike of 1889, the society dwindled. Occasionally, a descendant from one of these men will find a tooth with strange markings in their home. Strange but true.
Grandpa,
that's amazing.
Really weird.
Well, no, I don't think he was in this society because that was
1889. Still, I think they might have overreacted. I mean, yeah, it's fucked up to punch someone with their tooth, but I think it might have been a little over the top to pull out all of his teeth, put markings on it, and then after he died, dig up his skull and then use his skull. I think you guys might be overreacting.
You don't know how much money he stole from them.
Oh, you know what? Fine.
He was skimming all of their wages, and so put it this way. So you heard
it here first. It's from Stacy.
If someone steals from you, you pull out their teeth.
You pull out all their teeth, and then you wait for them to fucking die. Dig up their fucking grave, take their skull, and make weird rituals around their skull.
Yeah.
Forever.
I'm just saying.
Forever. Never stop.
We don't know their side.
Okay? You don't understand. Maybe they had perfectly good reasons for holding down a man and pulling out all
We don't have enough information to judge. Maybe this was all.
Maybe it made sense. If someone steals money from you, don't call the cops. Don't, try to get your money back or anything like that. Hold him down, pull out all of his teeth, cut off his head, boil it, get the skull out, use it, do weird rituals with it, and then pass those teeth on forever.
I mean, yeah, you could just make a chalice out of the skull, too.
That's what I told Stacey, and she said no. Just letting you guys know, Stacey doesn't love me enough to me have a Tibetan sky funeral, so she doesn't care about me.
No, I just said that the getting you to Tibet might be kind of difficult. However, if you want me to just have your skull made into a chalice, I can do that.
Sorry, Stacey. The vultures eating my body is essential. It doesn't have to be in Tibet. We can do it here in the United States, but vultures need to eat my flesh, and then I want you to bring at least my skull. I know it's going to be hard to bring my human remains to Tibet. To turn my skull into a cool bowl.
Here's the thing, though. In the U.S., you can't.
If you don't do this for me, you're not my friend.
In the U.S., you can't even legally bury somebody in your own backyard.
Well, Stacey,
so how am I going to bring you
all
out
I'm
to the desert
hearing is
and
that
leave
you're
you?
obeying the patriarchy. So, if you don't do this for me...
Oh my god! We should ask that mortician YouTuber lady. Hey,
ask a mortician?
Yeah, ask a mortician. Hey, how can I do this?
Stacey, if you don't do this for me, and I know I don't believe in ghosts, but I will become a ghost. And I'll be like, woo, you didn't turn my skull into a thingy! And then you'd never do it because you'd be like, oh, hey!
Did we fully explain to them what we're talking about?
No, and I don't want you to.
Okay. Deep Hollow County mourns. The final group of bodies from the 1888 explosion have been recovered 2 days shy of the 1-year anniversary of the tragedy. These 5 men bring the total of dead to 112. 2 of the men, Addison Pine and Henry Harvey, were the ones who set off the explosion. Although mine bosses had been informed that gas pockets were present in that section, they elected to not inform Pine and Harvey of the possible danger. The other 3 bodies belonged to Peter Bledsoe, Christian Stanoff, and Peter Litha. Peter Litha's funeral arrangement.
Lajtha.
But it depends. It depends. Sometimes
at the end of the day, Stacey's correct, and if you correct her, you hate women.
I don't know where the last name is from. Do you know how, in Spanish?
No, if you make the consequences of disagreeing with you harsh enough, no one will do it.
I'm fucking right.
Yeah, and if you don't believe in Stacey, that means you don't believe in women and you hate women.
Oh my god.
Well, and no one's gonna disagree with you now.
Peter Lajtha's funeral arrangements will be handled by Father Letiz, as the man's widow has since returned to Hungary with his 2...
Now we know the origin!
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Well, maybe she's from Hungary. I don't know. Hungarians, let us know. Sound off, opinion line. We would like to remind the men of our town to please refrain from spitting on the sidewalk. This unsanitary habit is unseemly and beneath you.
What year is this from?
It's from the 1800s.
You think so? No, the language doesn't sound 1800s. It feels more like 1930s.
But none of this has had 1800s language, and it's all been...
No, it's all been historical, because it's not in the... See, this, they're like, of the strike of 1880...
No, but the one about the mine collapse, wasn't that in the 1800s?
I think that was more recent. Let's see. Possum Massacre, Town Center...
Tragedy, go down to the tragedy. No, go up for a second. Go up, that one. That's the...
Yeah, wait.
But that's after the memorial for the 1888 explosion victims. So we're talking 1800s. Oh, I think they mentioned our grandpa. Or, our relative. In that one.
This one?
The strike. See? Arthur Borowski. Miners gathered in the home of Arthur Borowski to continue the memorial to their friends. Spectral happenings at Possum
Jump. Ghost shit!
2 local sweethearts were startled this past Sunday as they hiked along the wooded overlook known as Possum Jump. According to the Lovebirds, at approximately 11:45 a.m., a figure appeared to walk from the edge of the cliff out into open air and then disappeared.
That's what happens when you have premarital sex. You see ghosts. Holy Spirit was telling him no.
The ghosts murder you. They appear to be alive, which is shocking.
No, the lovers are ghosts too now. They came back as ghosts to warn others not to have premarital sex.
Forestry workers the next morning were unable to locate any evidence of anyone having leapt from the great height, leaving the exact nature of what the two saw a mystery. A decent hike up into the state forest hills, Possum Jump is famous for its beautiful view of the Echo Reservoir. It also holds historical importance as it hosts the lonely graves of several persons involved in the Possum Massacre.
So they keep bringing up the Possum Massacre.
What was the...
Possum Massacre
Is that from the... Oh, yeah.
This is where the kids died. And some other people died, too.
Okay, so basically what happened was there was an explosion at the mine because...
And then there was a strike after the explosion.
And then there was a strike.
And then they were rioting, and then they shot into the crowd, which killed some kids along with other people.
Yeah. And then they... hold on, go down. And then they...
I think this is before.
Yes.
Ripping out some tea.
Yeah, because that's 1870.
Okay, so just a lot of people dead. Okay, alright, let's go back to this. Parents, be sure your daughters are not participating in the new trend of skirts showing the ankle. So this is 1920s. 1920s is when they started showing off the leg.
No.
Yes! I know this because you know that I'm obsessed with weird
But this is all from the 1800s.
This has to be a little bit later because they didn't start showing off the ankles until the 1920s. Before that, they didn't shave their legs.
Yeah, but they had flappers in the 1920s. They didn't go straight up to here. We're talking ankle, not leg. Remember? Because flappers wore, like, knee-length dresses.
All right. I believe you. Parents, please be sure your daughters are not participating in the new trend of skirts showing ankles. I do not think we need to remind you which road of brimstone this temporary fashion trend will lead your dear daughters down. Ankles, scandalous. Have you ever seen, like, those old pictures of, like, women...
Like, literally just pulling up to show the ankle?
No. Women, like, trying to get, like, you know, civil rights for women and shit. And then they'll be, like... her, like, crossing her leg with a little bit of ankle showing, and they're like, see these vulgar women using their feminine ways to, like...
That's, oh my god, that's so fucking crazy.
Here it is, my ankle. Was it really, like, I mean, yeah, I guess.
But see, that's the weird thing is, like, if you go far enough back in history...
Is the ankle the underboob of the 1800s?
But if you go far enough back in history, like... None of that shit mattered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everyone's naked.
Like, people would be topless and naked all the time, and then it's like, the Puritans came over here and they were like, fuck it! You know, like, I don't know.
Well, no. So, I mean, okay, so, it first started when fucking what's-his-face was like, alright, Roman Empire, we're Christian now, and everyone's like, okay, and he's like, no more dick statues, and everyone's like, fine, no more dick statues. And he's like, cover them boobies. And they're like, oh, God, just cover the boobs. Now we gotta cover boobs.
Mm-hmm. I have been witnessing more and more teenage girls coming into our town on a Saturday night unchaperoned, using vulgar slang terms certainly unfit for me to print here, and blocking the sidewalks by walking arm in arm. They are loud and also flirt with boys unabashedly while smoking cigarettes.
Ew!
These young ladies need to be stopped before our young ladies get any ideas or our boys fall for the wrong girl.
Fall in with the wrong girl.
Fall in with the wrong
Young
girl.
men have been seen around Possum Springs engaging in the ridiculous behavior of wearing mismatched patterns in their suits. This type of outfit may be all the rage in Bright Harbor, but good luck getting any respectable businessman around here to employ you. You all look like rabid clowns. Councilman Puchinskaya? Yeah. Plan for 3rd Street is a joke. What else is there to say?
I can imagine that this is like a message board of the newspaper. This is like before people had like Reddit.
Or like...
It's like super old school Reddit.
Super old school Reddit. Same comments. Comments. Okay, alright, let's translate into modern times.
So...
Okay, translate this into modern Reddit comments.
Some of these actually seem like... You know what this actually seems like? This actually seems like Facebook moms' comments on Facebook. Because I would like to remind the men of our town to please...
Yeah, Facebook
or like,
moms.
Please be sure your daughters... This is Facebook moms.
Facebook mom.
Or
those guys who are like, people are letting women today learn to be sluts. They're all sluts now. They won't fuck me. Why are guys settling for sluts? Anyway, here's 10 tips on how to fuck a slut. And you're like, wait a second. Which is it? Which one do you want? I just want to fuck the sluts, marry the good girls. How are you going to get with a girl if you're fucking sluts? Wait, aren't the sluts good girls? No! Anyway, sex is gross and it's a manly domination of the vagina. And you're like, what? Do you like sex or do you just want to hate people?
I don't know. Ghostly rumors haunt new historical society. The Possum Springs Hysterical Society's conversion.
Hysterical?
That's what we used to call it in my hometown. We called it the Hysterical Society because they always had like a bunch of like crazy rules about like what you could and couldn't do with your house.
I remember when I went to visit your family the first time, it was the first time, and like everybody was fighting, so it just kept asking about the rocks over and over, and because then everybody in the car would immediately stop fighting and tell me about the rocks.
What rocks?
The rocks that people would use to like put the edges of their like farms or some shit, and like you weren't allowed to move the rocks.
Are you talking about like the ones that like all those like rock walls that people use to like mark the border?
See, it worked. You see? Immediately. Every time, because Stacey has a really big family, so they would all start bickering in the car, and I go, hey, what are those rocks over there? Immediately, everyone would stop fighting and tell me about the rocks. Immediately. Dead stop. No matter who was fighting about what. Tell me about those rocks. Oh, well, let me just tell you about... So you see, they made a rule. It's a stupid rule, but people were stealing the rocks. And I was like, fascinating.
It's true. I grew up in New Hampshire, for anybody who is curious.
It's illegal to take the rocks.
Yeah.
Don't touch any rocks.
Don't touch the rocks. Of the Schreiergeist house into its new headquarters and education has hit a snag. Custodial head Jed Newsome has resigned, citing strange occurrences in the old manor. I'd be there after hours doing my work, and I'd hear someone walking around, trying doorknobs. I came out to see who was fooling, but there was never nobody there, says Newsome. Trying to get this map room operational for the children, all the while I'm looking over my shoulder, expecting to see God knows what.
Look, they censored God because he was using the word in vain.
To see God knows what.
What do you think that's saying? GD?
Goddamn knows what. I don't know.
He's used the Lord's name in vain, and they had to censor it. Oh my God! Yeah. Let me tell you this. So I used to play travel softball when I was a teenager. I'm gonna talk like this. Don't tell me how to talk.
She's putting her hands in front of her mouth.
No, I'm not. I'm doing it sideways like this, so it's not making a difference. Okay. So I traveled a lot, and I think this wasn't the ASA Nationals. This was the NSA Nationals. There's there's ASA, NSA, and AFA.
This is a side point.
Anyway, I think it was the NSA Nationals. We went down south because, like, that's where usually all the nationals are in, like, hot places.
I'm so sorry.
You already saying sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone would always give my mom really weird looks because my mom was, like, dark and my dad was light, so they'd be like, ah. But anyway, so, one of the umpires, like, our pitcher was pitching, and he did a bad call for, like, he called a strike, whatever. And she goes, oh my God. And the umpire goes, stop! Stop the game!
What?
Young lady, come here! Come here, young lady! Come here! Young lady! I don't know where you're from, but in these parts, We don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, no.
And we were like, whoa. Stop the game. Come here, young lady. Come here. We don't take the Lord's name in vain here. Okay?
That is nuts.
You stop what you're doing. Stop the game.
In the middle of the game?
Everyone stop. Come here.
Oh my god. And
you come here to me. I don't come to you. You come here to me.
And in, like, an important game.
This was an important game. It was the NSA Nationals.
Oh my god.
He's like, stop, time out.
Oh.
Come here, pitcher.
Mr. Newsom had previously requested to work only daylight hours when other staff were present in the building, but even that proved to be too terrifying. I don't go to the off-limits area anymore. I don't go up past the second floor and then only go to the office. I know the others laugh, say I'm seeing Little Joe or something, but they can all go spit. Little Joe for the uninitiated.
But we are the initiated, aren't we, Bruce? Members of the League of Shadows!
Was a local ghost story popular some years ago. The Possum Springs Historical Society has refused to comment on Mr. Newsom's claims at this time.
Well, if somebody refuses the comment, they may as well be saying it's 100% fact true.
Strike lumbers on. The strike is now in its 30th day with no end in sight. The bosses have refused to meet with the miners, saying their demands are too fantastical. The miners claim they are only asking the bosses to adhere to safety standards that are already the law.
That's fantastical. We want helmets. Next thing you're going to want is some sort of pump of oxygen into where you are.
Next thing you're going to want is to know when there's dangerous pockets of gas that could explode if we're using dynamite. That's ridiculous.
That's so out of control. What next you want what? Health insurance? Dental? Wages?
The National Guard was called in after last week's scuffle, and the Coulson Coke Works Union has joined the cause, which has caused an uptick. Oh, I hate it when people do that.
What?
When they use, like, the two words, like, join the cause, which has caused.
You've heard it here now. Now you know how to leave comments on Geek Goodness.
Which has caused an uptick in national press arriving at the site. The women's camp has expanded its services from serving meals... Oh my god, again! Services from serving meals to beating any non-union miner from entering the mines. So far, they have been successful in both ventures.
Whoa.
Underground gases afflict many. The houses on Larch Street have been evacuated after the discovery of gas buildup in the basements was found to have led to hallucinations in scattered members of the households. For the past several weeks, residents have been complaining of family members who began hearing voices or seeing things that were not there.
Or maybe that's what's happening to us.
Oh, maybe. One older woman was found to having an animated discussion with an empty chair. When pressed, she calmly explained that she was talking to her sister, who had passed away some 50 years ago. 2 nights ago, the son of Carson Zimmer ran out of the house and leapt into Cooper's Pond 1 mile up the road. Moments before this, the child had been readying for bed and, according to another sibling, became increasingly agitated. The last words he uttered were about some sort of song before he dashed out of the house and into the night where his watery grave awaited him. This last event persuaded residents to request help from officials to see if this is related to St. Luvern's lantern, a phenomenon where exposure to specific underground gases leads certain victims to experience waking dreams, auditory hallucinations, and the sense of unseen presences. Preliminary tests indicate that gas is present in the homes, and mining officials are moving the residents until more tests can be completed. Samuel Coulson has purchased 10 acres of land on the outskirts of Possum Springs. When we inquired as to what Mr. Coulson would use the land for, he would only remark that what was coming here would delight both young and old for years to come. We are very anxious to be delighted.
Oh, do you know that Carrie from Oh No, Ross and Carrie? I listened to her TED Talk, and she was like, yeah, when I was younger, I was super religious, and I thought my house was haunted. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I had this sinking feeling in my chest. I was like having weird things happen, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then I was like going to get an exorcist. But then someone was like, you should go get your house checked for carbon monoxide. And she did. Wow. And they were like, you were gonna fucking die, like, in the next day if you didn't get this fixed. And she was like, oh, so believing in ghosts almost got me killed. Like, whoa. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Local ghost Little Joe at it again. As the school children are quick to inform you, Possum Springs has at least one resident who won't show up on any census survey. Little Joe, purportedly the ghost of Joe Shade, a miner who died in mysterious circumstances some decades ago, is a favorite spook story of the whimsical and weird members of our community. His most recent activities seem to involve getting up out of his coffin in the old section of Possum Springs Cemetery and strolling around, unnerving visitors to the largest graveyard in Deep Hollow County. His grave has become a destination for unruly and often destructive local youths, and as such, Possum Springs City Council is considering erecting an iron gate to protect the historical tombstones that fill the small hollow where Joe Shade lies buried. Police have also stepped up patrols in the area, so be warned, thrill seekers. You may not see a ghost, but you may see a fine for trespassing.
Seems like that guy's just going for a walk.
The Stanley T. Possum statue, known by residents as Posse, is finally slated for demolition. Posse closed in 1967, but Richard Coulson, son of Samuel, had hopes
What? Son of Sam?
Yeah.
That's the dog from that one guy who used to talk to his dog.
What?
Remember the guy? He used to talk to his dog because he thought his dog was the devil, so he went around killing everyone? That was like a real thing that happened. It wasn't from a movie.
Oh, okay.
And he called him Son of Sam.
Ah. Okay. Maybe. Had hopes of refurbishing the statue for new generations. Posse stood silent for close to 60 years, witnessing the beginnings of the demise of the railroad, the mines, and the coke works that ushered in his existence. Teens and other vandals broke into Posse over the years, and climbing up through Posse became a rite of passage for many young people in the area. Residents have been torn over what to do with the beloved but derelict structure over the years, but 3 years ago, pressure began mounting to have it torn down. A storm knocked off Posse's ear, and the next year, Ralph Jenkins fell from the staircase and broke both legs. Samantha Coulson Glick, daughter of Richard, finally agreed that it was time for Posse to go. Demolition will begin. Blah, blah, blah.
Pie piracy! Dear citizens, please make note to keep your pies safe during the pleasant weather we are experiencing. Several ladies have reported pies from their kitchens disappearing at alarming rates. Even worse, the picky culprit is leaving behind only the rhubarb pies. Until this criminal is caught or the bad weather returns, we remind our housewives to make use of their pie safes indoors or stick to rhubarb.
Pie safes?
Yeah, it's a pie safe. Letting that pie cool on this windowsill, just asking to get your pie stolen.
Who lets pie cool on a windowsill?
Every woman in cartoons from the 1940s.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Because it was fucking hot.
Why wouldn't you just leave it on the counter?
Because it's hot. It's hot out. It's hot. It's hot in the kitchen and they're letting it cool outside. I don't know, Stacey. I saw it in a cartoon. It must be real.
I'm just saying.
I think we got everything.
Progress Springs in Possum Springs. Randolph Stafford, owner of the Bell's Hole Mine Works, has partnered with Samuel Coulson, owner of Coulson Coke Works, Daniel Glick, railroad magnate, and prominent business owner Harrison Schreigeist to make some stunning improvements throughout the town. The four men desire to build a model of progressive living right here in Possum Springs. The old miners' double houses on Elm Street will be torn down and replaced with spacious single homes. A new elementary school will be opened up nearby, along with a new state-of-the-art recreation center courtesy of Arnold Applebaum. This is in addition to the improvements Randolph Stafford promised the previously striking miners. There has been another sighting of the albino groundhog from a very reliable source this time. Oh my god. This is like Edgar Stutter reports that he saw the pure white beast digging near Shade Gap. Mr. Stutter has declined to give any more of an exact location and implores his fellow hunters to admire this anomaly from afar and to leave him to his business. We could not agree more with this upstanding citizen and remind townsfolk that if you are interested in seeing an albino creature, to stop by Suddy's barbershop for a peek at an albino raccoon. We're certain this will assist your mind in completing the search for the groundhog.
There's a town in Illinois that's famous for its albino squirrels. Like, it's wild albino squirrels.
We had a bunch of them at the college I went to.
Weird.
Yeah.
I think we got it.
Okay.
How do I leave?
I mean, are you supposed to maybe, like, click on something? Like, maybe the ghost?
Oh, what? I was supposed to click on them. Okay, so we gotta find the ghost stuff.
Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Looks like Possum Jump.
Let me read it.
It's Possum Jump.
Oh yeah, that's back up in the state park, right?
Yeah.
Ever been up there?
Nope. Gonna check it out, though.
Go nuts. That's actually probably only a mile or so from Mrs. Miranda's house. Back up in the hills. All kinds of stuff up there.
Well, I'll try to avoid any basements. Or corpse husbands.
Co-signed.
Oh, wow. This is gnarly. And awesome. Oh, my God.
Okay, so nothing to say about that.
Maybe we should click on all of them if, like...
Yeah. No ghost to be found here.
The way you say ghost, it sounds like you don't believe me.
This one?
No ghost. No ghosts here. Oh, look.
Scooch so I can see. Graveyard. That's a gimme.
I mean, if you're looking for ghost stuff, that's where they make a lot of them.
Looks like they saw him in the old section. Oh, cool. That's where his grave is. I'm actually interested in that.
How could you not be interested? This is like actual dangerous ghost stuff.
I like history.
Ghosts are history. History that won't stay history.
That's actually pretty good.
No ghost here. No ghost here. No ghost here. No ghost here.
Well, I mean, that's related. Come on, man.
Yeah, of course. Hey, hey, hey! Ghost spotted.
Historical society.
History that won't stay history. In a history place!
History plays?
Yeah, I've never been.
You didn't go back in school?
I think this was when I wasn't in school.
Oh, after the softball incident.
Yeah, mostly just watched TV and did therapy.
Well, it's actually a pretty cool old house. Used to be owned by one of the mine owners or something. Railroad, mine, steel mill, something like that.
An actual haunted house.
No. Elementary school kids are there all the time. They have, like, summer arts and crafts programs.
Oh. Well, still worth checking out. Okay, well, that's like 3 leads. Let's boogie.
Let's boogie. Also, is that it? Let's look more stuff.
I think we got everything, right?
Okay, how do I get out? I just pressed a bunch of buttons.
So we've got some leads. Can I borrow your car this week?
Do you even have a license? I mean, no, regardless. But do you?
Nope. No license, no credit cards, don't believe in money.
You just believe in other people's cars and money.
I didn't choose to be born into this society.
Okay, well, I have, a job, so I can drive you around to all of these spots. I can maybe do the graveyard. I need to go there anyway.
Cool. I'll see if Greg wants to do the other two.
And I probably don't have to say this, but just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
Hey, nerd. Ever hear that history repeats? It does. It does the same thing over and over again.
So we've just been in a loop since we were living in caves?
Yeah, that's science.
Okay, oh my freaking god.